Happy Leap Day. Happy February the 29th. And if you haven't already, we still encourage you to, as it, of course, just hit newsstands bright and early this morning, pick up today's edition of the Sagersville Independent front page and throughout just some pretty neat Leap Day and leap year facts and information about some folks in our area and otherwise. So be sure and pick it up. And, of course, a host of other important news and a lot happening in sports, so you'll certainly want to pick it up for that as well. Throwback Thursday page is always a winner and worth the price of admission, so to speak. So be sure. Special edition of the Sagersville Independent out there today. And on the shelves, of course, until next Thursday morning, technically. With that said, I have a host of other news and information to get out to you this evening on the show before I rush literally out the door to try to make it for tip-off of the boys' 57th District Championship tonight, of course, between Martin County and Magoffin. And we will be talking about who's where in this big super regional format in just a few moments. We've got a few sentencings from the viewing and surrounding area to talk about, your weather forecast, of course, and much more to come. So let's get right to it. Just one thing from the state level tonight. Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman has made a distinguished list, as we are learning today, serving, of course, now in her second term as Kentucky's governor. She has brought with her experience as an educator, saying that she understands with that many years of experience in the classroom what's best for children all across the Commonwealth. And in this particular term, she is focused on many things, including universal pre-kindergarten for 4-year-olds. And with all of her efforts, she has earned the distinction as being a Kentucky honoree for USA Today's Women of the Year selection. Congratulations to Lieutenant Governor Coleman, and we certainly wish her well in that running. 2 sentencings to pass along tonight happening in the viewing and or surrounding area, beginning with a Johnson County woman sentenced to 15 years related to a hit-and-run accident back late year before last. Jailed since this February the 9th, Angel Clark, 40 years of age, from the Hager Hill area of Johnson County, was sentenced just days ago to 15 years in prison after the case was mediated before prosecutors and her representation, with a sentence agreed upon that would see her spend again 15 years in prison on felony charges of related to the hit-and-run accident between her vehicle and a motorcycle that happened in September of 2022 in the W.R. Castle Fire and Rescue coverage area. The vehicle that struck the motorcycle fled the scene. It was identified and tracked down later by authorities via a license plate number that a witness of the crash had seen and recorded. Denying the crash initially, the investigation later determined that Clark was behind the wheel of the vehicle, and she was subsequently arrested, indicted, and now has officially been sentenced to serve what will be at least 85% of that 15-year sentence. Meanwhile, in neighboring Floyd County, a former teacher, as well as a woman who served in many other capacities within the Floyd County school system, administrator, assistant principal, coach, has as well been sentenced. Back in November, April Bradford changed her plea from not guilty to guilty for sexually assaulting 2 female students for a period of 10 years between 97 and 07. An employee in the Floyd County School District for 20 years, she was an assistant principal at South Floyd when she was indicted. She has since been sentenced earlier today and will serve the agreed upon 3 years and 6 months in state prison. She as well will be registered on the state sex offender list, the sex offender registry, a lifetime provision. She will also be under supervision for 5 years after being released from jail. And I'll take you back to Johnson County for just a moment following the break as we cover this week's meeting of the Johnson County Board of Education, some special honorees and awards, as well as the latest on the ongoing planned construction of the new Johnson Central High School. All that covered in 2 separate meetings earlier this week. I'll have that for you in just a second.
There are several risk factors that may put a patient at risk for heart disease.
Especially people who have diabetes or hypertension or high cholesterol and have a family history of heart disease.
Neglecting to see a cardiologist can put you in trouble. You may develop problems that may not be reversible.
We see many people who do not have an actual diagnosis of a heart problem, but may be at risk of heart disease, and we do whatever we can to help mitigate that risk to help prevent disease in the future. ARH, more for Appalachia.
Regardless of what season it is, you can always find fan favorites of the Ville, Salyersville, at the seasonal shop. For the dudes, Duke and Cannon, Turn Rose, and more. And always something for all the Hornet fans. And for all the ladies, it's always Wildcat season, and it all changes daily. That's why you always have to make a stop at the seasonal shop just next door to Fraser's Prater Drug Store. The best place for all your prescription, over-the-counter, and Radio Shack needs, with some of the very best hometown lunch specials and treats. They're a pair like you can find nowhere else but in Salyersville. Where every day starts, it's made, and it ends. From hitting the floor to hitting the road and back, your feet carry the day's duties. And if you're hurting from what might be a work or sports or stress-related fracture you don't even know about, diabetic, or that all too often heel pain that just won't go away, or any type of pain or discomfort or in need of, Salyersville National Bank hopes to help you start the new year with financial freedom and peace of mind. From new services like Apple and Google Pay with your debit card to their more than century of being dedicated to being your personal or business banking institution, they're here for you with digital, phone, or in-person banking at both locations. You've seen the forecast, right? You know what season it is, so it is time to get ready. With New Year deals that are worth up to $200 off a new set of tires, and get your car running like new with only a $35 state-of-the-art computer diagnosis, and save all the payments for later with 6 months same as cash at Conley Tire and ConleyTire.net. Two meetings of the Johnson County Board of Education earlier this week, one a special session, one a regular, and of course both covering a lot of ground and business. On the business end of the new Johnson Central High School, there was a meeting, special session held earlier in the afternoon, on Monday it was, where they discussed the status of the new school, projected release of bids to be let out, and projected completion date of construction, as well as estimated cost. With site preparation still underway, project managers informed the board that they hope to advertise for bids in July. With site preparation still very well underway, project managers informed the board that they hope to advertise for bids in June and get those back the following month. They as well estimate the project at around $125 million. 25 of that, or 26 roughly, has already been invested in the site preparation for the new location. There also appears to be some alternates and other things that could change the total cost, with a little more than $125 million to be the starting point, $148 million with the gymnasium, and $161 million with a nearly $13 million auditorium to be added to the project. As for how long it would take, about 2.5 years, hopefully putting students inside the new facility, if all goes as planned, in the 27-28 school year. Next, it's on to the evening's regular meeting of the Johnson County Board of Education, which began with the Golden Eagle Awards for the month. The first for Miss Amanda Austin, a career support specialist, a woman of many hats, who has been an employee and a member of the Johnson County High School for almost 20 years. And for 33 years, Miss Valerie Blair, the Board of Education Secretary since 2008, while at the same time coordinating health benefits for all of the district's employees since 1995. She served as the finance clerk and much more, all at the same time for the last many years, being an active member of COSA, the Kentucky Organization of Superintendents Administrative Assistants, whose representatives were there to honor Valerie for her service to that organization.
Each year there's an award given out at the state. It's at the COSA conference each year, and we have two ladies here tonight that want to talk to you a little bit more. Okay, we'll stay right here. Nope. I want to introduce Katrina Kinlan and Kim Barker from KSBA.
How are you? We are from the Kentucky School Boards Association. which is the umbrella organization for COSA, which is the Kentucky Organization of Superintendents Administrative Assistants. It's a mouthful. But Valerie has been a long-standing member of this organization.
Yes, she has been one of our past directors. She's been a past president, past president-elect, and is currently serving as the mentoring chair. So when we have a new administrative assistant to a superintendent in a district, and if they want to have a mentor, Valerie takes care of making that placement all across the state.
So another thing about COSA is that in 2022, we established something called the COSA Cup Award, which stands for Knowledge, Understanding, and Passion. So the 2024 COSA Cup Award will be awarded to Valerie this Friday at our annual conference in Louisville. And we wanted to come down and share that information with you.
Also recognize middle and high school wrestling athletes with the Kentucky High School Athletic Association's state runner-up title this year, the state dual runner-up award. They've also got 16 regional championships in a row under their belt. They had 8 all-state wrestlers this year, 1 state runner-up, and a regional wrestler of the year in Logan Castle. Here's their coach, Blake Gamble.
This year we sent 11 guys to the state tournament. We met on 8, which was tied for the most in the state, with Union County, who did end up winning the state championship. Everyone that we sent ended up winning a match at the state tournament. And in the state tournament where we finished second by half a point, the difference between second and fourth ended up being a point and a half. So each individual win, it did go a long way toward catapulting us into that state runner-up finish. We had another state runner-up, Zach Scott, I'll say, come the eighth grader. They were wrestling the Kentucky High School State Championship match. We had a third place finisher, Dalton Matney. Peyton Lyons finished 8th in his first state tournament. Logan Castle, our senior year, he finished 4th in the state. Carson Matney went 2-2, I believe it was, at the state tournament. Isaac Adkins, wrestled heavyweight for us, finished 2-2, maybe 3-2. Isaac stepped in when our starting heavyweight tore his ACL in December, stepped into a role, filled it very well. Dakota Ferguson, in his first state tournament, finished 4th. Christian Pedad actually won a match in the state dual championship match earlier in the season. Nick Lyons competed with us all year long. And Hudson Lewandowski. Lewandowski never got to step on the scale a whole lot for us, but Lew never missed practice and everything we've asked him to do over the years. Dylan Beck done a lot of the same. We're the only team in the state to take 6 heavyweights everywhere we go, and it was a good problem to have. We couldn't run those guys off, and they've done a very good job for us this year. So, again, it's an individual sport, but it takes a lot of guys to make this thing go. So I appreciate you guys. It takes a lot of support from you all, from the support staff, Mr. Arms, Mr. Shepard, Athletic Director, Mr. Cochran. Thank you guys. Thank you all for having us.
Next, a birthday. We love announcing birthdays. 3 yesterday, a few more earlier this week, so please send them in when you can. Tonight's goes to Kendall Blanton. Happy birthday, Kendall Blanton, from a long list of family and friends. The happiest of birthdays to you. Everyone say happy birthday, Kendall. Happy birthday, Kendall Blanton. Again, happy birthday to you. A quick reminder, next Wednesday, will be the Water into Wine Food Pantry's first of 2 regular commodity days for the month, 9 to 11 both days. The next one will be Wednesday the 20th, and then Thursday the 21st of March will be their senior commodity day. They want to remind everyone that clients on the main commodity list, please pick up your box by 10 so the waiting list clients can start at that time. The Gulf County Rescue Squad media auction coming up May the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So just a reminder. And as well, they'll be out in the streets of Sagersville, hopefully graciously as well, collecting your donations if you're driving through town early this Saturday morning. Be sure to support the Rescue Squad any way you can. And we would be glad to support your birthday, anniversary announcement, or any other organizational announcement that you may have. Just send it to me, and we'll tell everyone about it. Cooked cabbage is back at your Sagersville Lee's, and so is the low-carb plate. I mean, yes, you can call it a low-carb plate because it is. There's barely any carbs in it, but it's also one of the tastiest meals we've got. And the healthiest, low-carb or not. With juicy roast strips, our famous green beans, and yes, that tasty cooked cabbage. A taste and flavor all its own, and only at your Sagersville Lee's.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in small town values.
And mom and dad and the things they handed down.
I believe some of the best people in the world are farmers.
I believe in insurance that protects families, homes, and cars.
I believe in always finding a way to do what you love.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
The Kenny Wayne Shepherd Band. Live in concert. Turn on My Diamonds Tour. March 7th. The Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg. Tickets on sale now at People's Bank Box Office or MacArts.com. Don't miss the Kenny Wayne Shepherd Band live.
Someone dies in the U.S. every 7 minutes from an overdose, and over half of the population gets or takes pills from a friend or a relative. And about 46 million and counting are exposed to narcotics in their drinking water. So don't toss them, flush them, or leave them lying around. Safely dispose of your unneeded meds anytime at Parkway Pharmacy,
where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
Now give me just a moment as I try to do my very level best to get everyone, including myself, caught up on the Super Regional Tournament this year. Of course, as we've been trying to follow as much as possible, a totally different format this year. That gives anyone in the loser's bracket, whether in just the first round of the district or in the championship round of the district, in the 57th, 58th, 59th, and 60th for the 15th region, a chance to get back in. Well, who's in and who's fighting to get back in? Sadly, the McGoffin County Lady Hornets are out. 2 games in, 2 games out, losing to Lawrence County last night at Prestonsburg in their play-in game, and that will put them out for the season. But they did have a couple of wins there in the regular season to finish, and we hope they're proud of their performance and representation of McGoffin County. Speaking of other districts, as we have for the 57th, Johnson Central going on last night, taking out Martin County 51-46. Final score last night. So Johnson Central and the Lady Golden Eagles go on. In the 58th district, it was Prestonsburg over Floyd Central 52-39. In the 59th district, it's the ladies from Pikeville over Shelby Valley by a score of 79-41. And in the 58th, girls, it was Pike Central taking out Belfry 65-60. A lot of basketball has been played to have a regional tournament bracket that's just filled in thus far, but that's kind of the way it is. Again, we've got all the district champions that I just ran through. Johnson Central, of course, the 57th district. So all those champions are already in, and they will start off in the middle of this bracket, if you will, in the final 8, if you will. There's kind of 2 sets of 8. The first set of 8 is still yet to be determined. We know Lawrence County is there after defeating McGoffin County, and we also know that Betsy Lane is there after beating Phelps. As we look at the top half of the bracket in a few moments, we are waiting on the draw for all of the others who have lost in the first round of the district tournament, and for those who lost in the championship games. All of those will be drawn and fill out the rest of that 8 bracket. That will be narrowed to 4, and those 4 will be combined with the champions in their respective districts, and then we'll make our way down to the championship. The region itself, with that final 8, made up of the 4 district champions and the 4 teams who played their way back in, will tip off Monday of next week, and the region lasts all of next week through the weekend. Boys bracket, same scenario. As, of course, we're just waiting the results of the rest of the championship games, and we'll have some for you here from the McGoffin County, Martin County matchup on tomorrow night's show. 42 degrees is where we are at the 6 o'clock hour. 49.5 technically is where I topped out at the studio earlier today. Just scored a wind moving out of the west at around 4 miles per hour. Maximum daily gust. We clocked one at 11 earlier today. Humidity at 36%. No rain. Sunrise 7:05. Sunset 6:26. That takes us into the rest of your Licking Valley RECC 7-day, where we've got another cold one in store tonight. Yesterday was a bit dramatic. I mean, we saw a 50-degree swing from our daytime high to our nighttime low, and it was cold this morning, and I didn't like it. Caught another cold one tonight. Partly cloudy, 24 degrees for your overnight low and morning low. We've got rain, more rain in the forecast for tomorrow. Right now, the window looks to be mainly after 4 o'clock if you're watching from the viewing area. 48 degrees, calm winds, and about an 80% chance of rain, again, mainly after 4. I think about a half an inch is certainly possible when it's all said and done tomorrow after early evening and during the overnight, with a steady temperature tomorrow in the mid to upper 40s. 48 for the high. We might drop 3, maybe 4 degrees for the low tomorrow night and still hover right around 44, 45. With, again, maybe a half inch of rain in totality. For your weekend, we've seen temperatures back off a little bit for your Saturday. The cold air is going to hang on a little tighter than what we had thought initially, but we'll see a 30% chance of some AM rain up until 8. Otherwise, becoming mostly sunny, pushing 59 degrees for daytime highs. Calm winds and 40 for your lows Saturday night into your Sunday morning. And Sunday looks to be a great day to do something outside. 71 and sunny for the latter half of your weekend. And, of course, we're on the first few days of March as we start March off tomorrow. Working towards a warmer note, at least for a day or two. Look at the change again. 72, mostly sunny, a 40% chance of showers on your Monday. We're in the upper 40s for nighttime lows. No harm, no foul there. Tuesday, we'll back off just a bit down to 69 and 51 for your high and your low. Partly sunny, a 60% chance of showers, a little greater. Wednesday, perhaps more clouds than sun, more shower chances than not. Low 60s by midweek at 62, and still a mild and comfortable 46 that night with some showers lingering. Thursday, cooler still, and we drop another 4 degrees down to 58 for your Thursday, 42 for your low, more clouds perhaps than sun. And flip a coin, we've got a 50% chance of showers and a 50% chance of not showers, I suppose, this time next week. That's it. I'm off to make the jump to the Martin County High School. Highlights and more news on tomorrow's show. If you're traveling as well, be safe, and one way or the other, I hope to see you back here tomorrow night. Thank you for watching.